Have you ever noticed how even when you want to see people, there's a hesitation, like some part of you is bracing for a horror show? This is a trauma symptom, and it's very common. You know it's just a dinner, just a coffee, but underneath you're already calculating how you're going to get out of it. Will you say something that comes out wrong? Will you get pulled into some intensity you can't get out of? Will you spend the next 2 days ruminating and trying to recover? That's the danger, isn't it? Not that people will hurt you, but that being around them could set off that old pattern of dysregulation. It's not even something you're always consciously aware of. It's just happened so many times. The awkwardness, the embarrassment, the exhaustion, the feelings of rejection that throw you into dysregulation and cost you days before you can focus again. Well, of course you'd be reluctant to put yourself back in the line of fire. Now, most people can go meet a friend and come home relaxed. For you and me, it can feel like you just ran an obstacle course. Even a short conversation can leave you replaying it in your head. Why did I say that? Did they think I was rude? Did I overshare? And the worst part is, you don't even see it happening. You're not consciously deciding, should I avoid people and protect myself? When connection feels that stressful, it is so tempting to quietly drift away from connection. You cancel plans without knowing why. You dread a gathering even if you like the people. You pull back from relationships you actually want because some part of you has linked being with people to losing control. Parties used to be like this for me. I'd go because I wanted to have something to do and I wanted to be included. But when I was there, I had so much self-consciousness and fear running through me. Every interaction I had, I was trying to act social. I was suppressing myself. I was trying to be a good listener and nod and smile, or I was sitting by myself feeling ashamed that I didn't know how to jump in and talk to people. And by the time I got home, my face hurt. Everything ached and I was exhausted. And then the next day I was exhausted and didn't want to leave the house anymore. Then I absolutely had to. Now I know what that was. It's dysregulation. It's something that your nervous system falls into sometimes, especially if you grew up with trauma. I mean, it happens to everybody, but more to us. And your nervous system is glitching a little bit. It's just not quite in sync. It's changing your vital signs. It's changing your perception. It's changing your hormones, your immune system. It's doing its job of keeping you alive, but kind of limping along. And that's why social situations can feel so dangerous. Dysregulation can really hobble your ability to function, and if socializing makes you dysregulated, it just feels too expensive. And again, this is not always a conscious decision. The fear of getting dysregulated could be unconsciously shaping your choices before you even realize it. And what this is, when it's a pattern, it's avoidance. And avoidance isn't a strategy you plan. It's what you do automatically to protect yourself. It feels like self-care, doesn't it? Like, I'll just isolate tonight. I'll take care of myself and I'll do that tomorrow and the next day and the next day and next month. And next thing you know, what happens? You're very, very disconnected. But when you're alone, you don't have to manage anyone's reactions. You don't risk blurting something out inappropriate or going flat mid-conversation and not knowing what to say, or opening up and, about some story about yourself and getting met with dismissiveness or rejection, like they just walk away or they judge you. And when you stay at home, you don't face that heavy shame that can crash down after you spend time with people, the post-social remorse. So you avoid. Not because you decided to, but because you've experienced enough stress around people that your default is to back away. That's why even simple conversations can feel like danger. You're not having enough of them. You already know, that they can knock you off balance sometimes, but when you don't have enough of them, they get harder than ever before. If social situations feel dangerous, the way forward isn't to just put yourself out there. That's how you burn out. The real shift comes from lowering the cost of connection so that you can build it slowly without knocking yourself flat. So here's how you do that. 1, keep it short. If you normally avoid a gathering altogether, try showing up, but only for 20 minutes. That's enough to say hello, to remind yourself that you can handle it, and then you leave before you're unraveling. Over time, you'll discover that you can stretch the time without that fear of crashing or getting stuck. You might even want to extend the time, and I hope that happens for you. Number 2, choose your people carefully. Not everyone is safe to practice this with. If you spend time with someone who criticizes you or who thrives on drama, of course you'll feel drained. Pick someone kind, or at least consistent, and someone who's, reasonably level, calm. You're retraining yourself here. You can think of it like repetitions, like working out, with people who don't spike your stress. You get stronger. When you're stronger, you can deal with a wider variety of people. Number 3, plan recovery time. Now for you, connection doesn't end when you leave the room. You might feel wiped out afterwards, unsteady, ruminating. So build in some downtime afterwards. If you know you'll need a quiet evening after lunch with a friend, plan for it. That way, the stress of it, the need to recharge your energy, doesn't turn into a big shame and blame fest as you just push through your life. Give yourself time. That cycle of putting yourself out there, not too much, then coming back and re-regulating and checking in with yourself, this is called titration. You take a little at a time, and you're a lot more likely to stick with it if you keep it short and then build in that recovery time. Number 4, catch the urge to bail out. Notice the moment when you're about to text your friend, sorry, I can't make it after all traffic, or whatever you make up about it. Sometimes canceling is wise, but often it's just the old unconscious reflex to avoid dysregulation. So pause, ask yourself, am I protecting myself right now, or am I just hiding? So number 5, practice making a quick exit. Yes, this is a really good thing to know how to do, because that's a lot what we're avoiding is the feeling of stuckness. So if you know you can make a fast exit, you are free to come to the party. Instead of vanishing when you get overwhelmed in social situations, excuse yourself briefly, step outside, go to the bathroom, get a glass of water. That way you don't disappear from the relationship, you're just taking a break. And then if you want to go, you can go. People care about that less than you might worry they do. Number 6, repair instead of disappearing. If you got sharp with somebody, or you went silent, or you acted strange, don't vanish for weeks. Send a short message and say, I was off yesterday. Sorry about that. Let's get together soon. You're teaching yourself that connection can survive a little rough moment. Number 7, talk less, listen more. When you're dysregulated, you're more likely to blurt things out or overshare. So practice saying less. Let the other person talk. Connection isn't about, performing for people or pretending to be nice. It's about being present with other people. And while some people, they tend to overdo it on being the active listener, and they do that with people who don't ask them about themselves. By the way, if people never ask about you, don't persist with them. They're not worth it. But if you sit there and you give your full attention to be present with somebody and to listen to what they're saying, maybe ask questions about them, that is a beautiful thing to do that opens up connection. You're going to find that it's easier than you think. Number 8, anchor yourself in the present moment. When you start drifting into fear, they don't like me, I blew it, I should go. Bring your attention back to something real. The chair you're sitting on, the sound of your voice, what the person just said. This is not a magic trick, but it interrupts the spiral, that shame spiral. If you need to, step away and write your fears and resentments using my daily practice techniques. If you haven't learned those yet, I really want you to have these in your mind, in your memory, so that you know what to do. You can bring paper and pen with you everywhere you go. And when things get weird, you have this paper and pen and the technique for how to get the intense stress thoughts, fear and resentment out of your mind onto paper and give yourself a break. You'd be surprised how well it works to kind of reset. So I'll put that free course down in the description section below this video in the top line. Number 9, build tiny habits of connection. Not every step has to be a dinner party. Just say good morning to your neighbor. Chat with the cashier when you buy groceries. Text your friend back instead of leaving it unread. These low-stakes interactions add up. They remind you that not every connection is risky, and it doesn't mean it has to be any more than a quick word. Number 10, quit while you're ahead. Leave on a high note. If the coffee date went well, don't drag it out. End while you're still steady, while you're still fresh, before you've overshared. That way, your brain starts to associate connection with success, not exhaustion. When you've been avoiding people for a while, even short interactions can feel overwhelming. And it's not that something hidden from childhood is being triggered. It's just that you're rusty. That's all. Connection is like a muscle. When you don't use it, you lose ease. So when you do step into a conversation, the stress feels bigger than it really is. It just means you need to practice connection, and you need skills that keep you steady while you do it. The truth is, none of this gets better until you learn to re-regulate. And that's not optional. It's the foundation. You need to be able to calm yourself when you get knocked off balance, not just here and there when trouble happens, but as a way of life, and also right there in the moment when you're with people. If you need quick tips on how to do that, I have a free download for you called Emergency Measures to Re-Regulate, and I'll put it in the second line of the description section right below this video. When you can re-regulate, you stop being run by the stress of social situations. Add boundaries to that, and you stop overextending yourself and getting stuck in situations that drain you. And once you know that you can handle yourself, you start to trust yourself around people. That's when connection starts to get really good. Dysregulation made you spend your life avoiding people, overreacting, or paying the price for days afterwards. When you learn to re-regulate, you get your life back. You can connect without losing yourself. You can walk away when you need to. You can finally relax enough to enjoy being with people and let them know you for who you really are. That is the growth that's possible. It's not a small improvement. It's like a beautiful door opening up your life. So don't give up. Make re-regulation the priority every day, no matter what. If you like this video, I've got one that you're going to love right here, and I'll see you very soon. Today, what's happening is your own behavior. And the worse you were hurt back then, the more likely it is that you have a pattern of hurting yourself now.